And now that we've been with 7FD since probably like December, I think we started really getting going in January, but we have about 110 to 120.
That's amazing.
So we just buy these punch cards off of Amazon. And when a kid comes in, they get to punch their card. And when they've come to 10 classes, they get to pick out something out of the box. So the mentoring aspect of it is pretty great. And Lead Connector app and Slack app, I'm getting messages and people are like, hey, are you doing this? You've got somebody new who wants to, maybe sign up for a trial. And so there's a lot of communication from 7FD, and that's really, really super helpful. You don't let me turn off.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for joining me here today. Jennifer Waters here, and I have the pleasure of talking with Miss Melanie Tripp. Melanie, how are you doing today?
I'm great. Thanks.
Awesome. Now, you actually run Parks Martial Arts. Tell everybody where your school is located, what you guys do.
Yeah, so our school is in Billings, Montana, and it's been here. Actually, it was started in 1980, and we do mostly Taekwondo, Hapkido, self-defense, and Judo.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Now, with the school, you took this school over, right? From the original owner at one point in time, right?
Yes. A very big shoes to fill.
Yeah. So when you took the school over, kind of walk everybody through where the school was at and, what you've been doing recently to grow the school. I mean, you've been enrolling a ton of people. So yeah, let's kind of just take everybody through that.
Sure. So our school was started by Grandmaster Park. He is from South Korea. He was second in the world in Judo in the 70s. He was a professor at Yongin University in South Korea, which is one of the very first martial arts universities in the world. And then he became an Olympic head coach in the Netherlands.
Wow.
And he decided after traveling the world, he wanted to live in the United States. He sent out a ton of letters to try to get sponsored. And Noreen Lee, one of his acquaintances from another judo demo team, had answered and volunteered to sponsor him. So he came over. We're extremely lucky to have him in Billings, Montana. Montana's population is very small. Billings is the largest city, and we have about 200,000 people in Billings.
Yeah. Wow.
So the entire state has maybe a million and a half people in the whole state of Montana. So he started that in 1980. Actually, he came over and worked their school for a while and started his own school in 1980. And then they built their own building, and it's been here since 2001. So I've just enormous shoes to fill. It's just incredible. He's an amazing human being. So I'm just really, really grateful and blessed.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. So you've been with us for several months now. You've been crushing it recently, even this year, because I know we started at the end of last year, I think it was, when you had started with us. How many students were you at before you started with Seven Figure Dojo?
We probably had 65 paying students. Some of them are, black belt instructors that are no longer paying their volunteering. And now that we've been with 7FD since probably like December, I think we started really getting going in January, but we have about 110 to 120.
That's amazing. Amazing.
Yeah.
How's that felt to go through that growth? Like, are you feeling any new energy inside the school?
Yeah, I mean, so our mats are pretty full, particularly our 5:30 class, and transitioning to our 7 o'clock judo class tonight. We probably had, our mat space isn't ginormous. We only just have one mat space, and we probably had 30 students leaving as like maybe 35 more students were coming in. So just in one night. So that's
a lot of foot traffic.
Parents, yeah.
Yeah. What do you think someone that's going through this type of growth, what do you think is allowing you to be successful, like handling this? How are you managing the growth?
Oh, a little bit at a time. But I think really for us, it's just been being able to accept change. I think this is an older school. So, and, as martial artists, we really value tradition, and it's just a way of life in martial arts. But also, I think because it's a business, you have to be able to accept that there's going to be change. And so in order for the business to survive, we had to make some changes. The curriculum was, incredible, coming from, some many 50 years of tradition, but everything was on paper. And so a lot of the marketing was maybe older style marketing, where today, you have to be on the internet, and the things that we used to do don't work anymore. So it's really made a difference, moving forward.
Any secrets or tips that you feel, let's say a school owner's trying to grow their school? I mean, obviously the marketing's been turning on, but you guys are busy in the back end. You're implementing new systems, you're implementing new things. So what do you think is a secret or a tip or something like that maybe somebody who's trying to grow their school, and maybe they're getting marketing going, there's been a lot of changes in there. Is there a mindset hack that you had to implement or a tactical thing that you implemented to help you process all these changes?
Yeah, honestly, I think there's a couple of things there. First of all was, getting over that imposter syndrome that you feel. Even my oldest daughter, she's been with him for even longer than we have. And because I started out as her mom, as a Taekwondo mom. Getting over that imposter syndrome, you have to just get out of your own way and understand that this is something that you have to tackle, and you're not going to do it by wondering whether or not you're supposed to be here. And then the second part is really listening to the students and the parents. We've spent a lot of time connecting with parents, especially modern families. We have a lot of kids whose parents are not together anymore. So we have to be able to communicate with both sides or grandparents are bringing them, So we've got a Google Classroom, and we have a private Facebook page. And when we have tests, we broadcast that. We have cameras here in the studio so that parents can see what's happening. And we spend a lot of time sending out messages and just trying to ask them and listen to their feedback and what, students and parents are wanting. We can't, of course, just shape everything to every whim and fancy, but we really have to make sure we're listening, because that's super important.
Yeah, I think some people can find themselves in a situation where they're just teaching classes, enrolling students, and not really creating that personal connection with the students. So
yeah. And you have to realize if you don't have students, then you don't have a school, and so you don't get to teach anybody.
Right. Well, what would be some tips that you might have for somebody that is trying to grow that personal connection? How are you guys, you mentioned you're sending lots of messages. What are you doing to create that personal connection when they're coming in the doors?
So aside from really spending a lot of time getting to know everyone, to greet people as they come and as they go, and to get involved, to make sure that the kids are doing well at school and at home, and talking to parents about that and how we can better help them here. We do, like I said, we do have those two, Google Classroom and a Facebook page, but we also have, our number is textable number. So our main number is, I have an app so I can answer anywhere if a parent would text message or a call. And then also we make sure that, we always send out, we use Postable. We used to send out cards. So I'll send out handwritten cards all the time, just to send messages of encouragement. But then we also have that postable.com where we will send out cards, birthday cards and things like that. We have it all there. And the last thing, let's see, we also do punch cards for attendance. So we just buy these punch cards off of Amazon. And when a kid comes in, they get to punch their card. And when they've come to 10 classes, they get to pick out something out of the box. So it's just an incentive to get them to come to class.
Just something like that. Yeah. No, that's really cool. And that's really important how you've kind of blended that connection from just teaching on the mat to off the mat, where people are receiving stuff at home, they're receiving stuff when they come in. So yeah, definitely really cool there. What for you was the biggest change when you started working with Seven Figure Dojo? When you started working with us, what did you notice that changed right away?
Oh, I'm held accountable now. Yes. So the mentoring aspect of it is pretty great. And Lead Connector app and Slack app, I'm getting messages and people are like, hey, are you doing this? You've got somebody new who wants to, maybe sign up for a trial. And so there's a lot of communication from 7FD, and that's really, really super helpful. You don't let me turn off. So yeah, that's a good thing.
Keep you on track. Yeah, for sure. If someone was sitting on the fence and they were considering possibly working with us, since you've been working with us for several months now. Like, what would you say just from the inside, the experience that you've had so far?
Yeah, I would say it's entirely worthwhile. You may not see the benefits immediately, but you're really going to see a lot of leads pouring in. And those people, even if they don't sign up right away, they let people know about your school. And when I do sign people up, other family members and other kids come with them. So, it's really, although we do like try to measure what kind of impact the marketing has, sometimes it's a little bit more subtle and you're like, oh, that's why they're here. They saw, and we ask them, they say, maybe they just walk in, maybe they didn't sign up as a lead online. They walk in and they say, oh, I saw and I actually had two guys, I think they're 19 and 20. They came in one night, just showed up, signed up for judo that night. And I asked them, I said, well, they said, well, we saw an ad and we keep seeing that. So.
Yeah. Kind of having that halo effect. Yeah. With everything. So awesome. Well, Melanie, I think you're doing a great job crushing it. You definitely are making a huge impact on your community. So appreciate you for being here today. Thanks very much, ma'am.
Yeah. Thanks so much for all your help. It's great.